topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on
Y'all remember that RoboCop, do you? I remember that old RoboCop.
I don't know about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Man Talk Mondays. We are back. It's Monday. We ready to get into it. Yeah, y'all just don't know. We behind the scenes. We had all kinds of technical difficulties trying to get this thing going. But we will not be denied. So with all that said, I am Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you doing? How you doing right now?
Hey, man, you know what? We're going to get this out today. But I'm good, man. It's Monday. It's Monday, man. Long, nice Father's Day weekend. I'm good, man. Let's do this. Well,
so how we always get it going, I got to let y'all know, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships, but of course we're doing it from a man's perspective. Now keep in mind, this is not just for men. We want everybody to participate, men, women, boys, and girls. You're welcome. Now how you do this, you simply go and you drop your comment or your question in the comment section, and then we can see this. But we want you to participate in this conversation. We are having a conversation. So we want y'all to talk to us. Let us know how you feel about the topic tonight. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. If you like what we're doing, if you like Man Talk Mondays, let other people know about it, right? We don't want to be the best kept secret out here, right? So like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget you can catch our podcast. We have Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, anywhere you go to listen to podcasts, you can catch us there. So be sure to go and catch any of the episodes that we've done previously. You can catch them anytime you feel like it. Right? So you can go back and listen to those shows as well. But we won't prolong the time. I think we got a interesting one for you all tonight. So tonight we talking about marriage. Marriage, not made for men anymore. Marriage not made for men anymore. John, you shaking your head. You don't think it's made for men anymore?
No, I do not think it's made for men anymore. I don't, man. So I can't wait to get into the conversation, but I do not.
You know, it's real interesting when you look at it, because there is so much out there right now about how men are just we're not warming up to the marriage or anything dealing with marriage. And there are 5 reasons we want to kind of get into right now. 5 reasons why. Monique said, here we go. Yeah, here we go, Monique. Better buckle your seatbelt, because we about to get into this. All right. So we got 5 reasons why men are not wanting to marry now? 5 reasons, right? So these are the 5 reasons. Now, you can break these down a little bit further, but for the sake of this show, we got 5, all right? So reason number one, they lose their space and freedom. They lose their space and freedom. Now you say, now what has that got to do with marriage? Think about it. When you marry, how much space does a man get in that house to call his own?
None. You don't get any. You don't get in. It ain't even about you no more. Once you get in your house, once you move in with them, you don't get no more space. They all over you all the time. You can't hide in the bathroom. You can't do none because here they come all the time. Hey, can I sit here in peace?
I mean, you supposed to at least get the man cave, right? Y'all don't get the man cave anymore?
No, man. No, because they want all of your time. Women want all of your time unless they got something to do. Then they want to shed you or give you the Heisman to have you sitting on the couch somewhere waiting for them to get back. I'm just saying. Somebody help me.
Selena a little upset behind that. We got all angry faces. So when it comes to losing their freedom, they talking about being able to hang out, kick it with the boys, stuff like that. They don't seem to favor losing this. All right. So Jeffrey Jones, he says men have way more to lose. 50% of marriages today end in divorce. 7% of those are filed by women. They could be for any reason. She's bored, she's changed her mind, she makes more money, sex, and so forth. Now the man loses access to his children, half of his earnings, his income, his friends, and she gets to play victim. I detect a little resentment. This sounds like it might be coming from a personal place with Jeffrey. He just ran down my list, which I don't appreciate, but we still gonna get into the list anyway. All right. So he's absolutely right, though. These are the fears that men are dealing with. So number one, they lose their space and their freedom. Even the man cave is up for debate. Okay, Mika said, boo, not true. Why is it not true, Mika? Help us out. Talk to us. You say it's not true. Why do you say that's not true? Okay, so Shawanda says that's one side of it, Jeff. Okay. So what's the other side, Shawanda? Let us know. Talk to us.
She don't have another side. She ain't got no other side. She just want to disagree because they know we right, man. They know we right.
Losing your space and your freedom. And think about it. You got a lot of people today, they don't come up in houses where it's 9, 10 people. So they used to having probably more space.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. Now, listen, for all y'all women that think about commenting, don't lie to me. I'm tired of every week y'all getting over here lying to me. Listen, if I want to be lied to, I'll walk downstairs. Don't lie to me.
Sound like somebody gonna walk upstairs in a minute. And if his screen go black, y'all already know what's going on. His mic will still be on, get some tussling in the background. We already know what's going on at that point.
I'm just saying, Dean, can we get some honesty, man? Can we get some honesty?
Yeah. We want people to be honest. Because women, we try to help y'all out. We want to let y'all know how men feeling about marriage. Right? Now I'm a married man. John's a married man. But I've been in 13, he been in 30. We in.
She gonna ask, is the home large enough? Oh, I guess you think we in a efficiency or something, sitting on top of each other where we can fry fish and go to the bathroom at the same time. Oh, that's where you think we at, That's where you think we at.
Let me ask Shawanda, how big does the home have to be for you to allow him some space?
There you go. There you go.
Jeffrey says, know what it is y'all want credit for everything good you're around, but want to distance yourselves from anything negative you do. Wow. So Jeffrey said y'all want all of the credit, but none of the blame.
That's normally how it is, though, D. Come on, that's women, though. Is that not women? Am I the only one that ain't that women?
Okay, so Lisa says, what age category took this poll and produced these results?
This is the first one. We ain't even got to the other four.
Now think about it, Lisa. Now we're talking about, because you got single men in their 40s and 50s now, and they are like, no, we ain't doing it. Now, granted, some of these men have been divorced and they're not going back in. But you got to consider these are some things that men are thinking about. They're not high on marriage anymore. Marriage doesn't seem to hold the same benefits before that it used to. So these are just how men feel. All right. So that was number one. Shawanda says it is so important to really get to know your spouse before marriage. Then you will avoid some trouble. I can't type as fast as my brain is working. We got a little time, so just let us know how you feel. We still on number one. We still they lose their space and freedom. All right, so go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say, you know why your brain is, why your hands can't type fast as your brain? Because you're lying to it. You finna tell us a lie. Listen again. I don't need no lies. Listen, and I'm still kind of baffled about this thing. How big do the house have to be? If it was it could be a 1-bedroom, and you still find your space within that. It could be 5,000 square feet, and she gonna take up every inch of that 5,000 square feet. Please don't put no stipulation on how big do the house have to be. First of all, I'm insulted, and we're not doing that tonight, y'all. No, we're not doing that. Now you finna put a square footage on it. Really? So I guess anything on 5 is hers, huh?
Shawanda said, OMG. It's the truth, Shawanda. You got to admit. It's the truth. Now, so you got to have at least 5,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet.
Hey,
what if it's a 2-bedroom house? Can he have 1 bedroom? I mean,
listen, they want all your time. Listen, ladies, can I get a close up, please? Y'all want all the time. And listen, that's okay most of the time. But all we asking is y'all give us a little bit of time to ourselves. And not just when you want to go out with your girls. Because that ain't flushing. That's the only time you want to give us is when you're going to do something. Come on. Think about that. How would you feel if we were doing you guys like that? I'm just saying.
That's a good question. How would y'all feel if men put restrictions on your time? You don't have no free time until I have free time.
And then wait. And when they're gone, they want you to get lost. And then when they're at home, you can't pull them off of you with a crowbar. One of them jaws of life. I'm just saying.
Okay, so Selena says you occupy space just as much as women do, perhaps even more. You occupy physical space, heart space, mental space, etc. Because we're always caring for and thinking about y'all.
Girl, if you don't get off of her.
I was just gonna say.
If you don't get lost in the sauce with that, because you are tripping.
Lord said, oh my, y'all are trying to start a riot. Listen, we're just reporting what the people say. We reported what the people say. That's what happened, right? These were polls that were done. We grabbed this information. This is what the people saw. So now Shawanda want to amen Selena.
All it takes, she was waiting for somebody.
Yeah,
She was waiting for somebody.
Yeah. Co-signing over here. All right, so that's the number one thing. They lose their space and freedom. Number two, they lose out on sex.
You know what? This pains me. I'm not gonna even lie. This pains me because I didn't know nothing about the list, and this pains me. But that is the truth. Now you are telling the truth. You telling because I'm gonna tell you something. There is a comfortability that comes when you with somebody. You get comfortable, and now when I touch on your shoulder, you're gonna play like you sleep until I push you out the bed. I'm just telling you, I gotta push you out the bed to wake you up. And then when you up now, you're trying to fight. I'm just saying, listen, somebody help me. Somebody help me. Cause y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all women, y'all know y'all would get comfortable with us in a minute. Unless we don't marry y'all, and when y'all, cause see, it's full court press when y'all trying to get us to marry you. Oh, we swimming and we can. Oh my God,
swimming.
I don't want no more. But as soon as we say I do, you say, well, that's it. I'm done. I got it. I'm good.
Shawanda say that is a whole lie. Where's the lie, Shawanda? Tramisha says that sounds like a man trying to sleep with multiple women. Okay. So I remember this conversation. There's this other married couple who has a podcast, and the husband says, so monogamy, when you agreed to be with me, you were me saying, I'm going to be with only you. You're going to supply all that I could potentially get other places. You have now said that you will take care of all of that yourself. Lord said, let me out the car, fellas. Hey, man, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Hope you seatbelt strapped in you, man. You hope you strapped in.
But the crazy thing about it, it's crazy as it sounds. That's the truth. And more importantly, because perception is reality. And if that's our perception, then you guys have to do something to change that. You got that's because that's how we think. And more of, if you ask, if married men would be honest, because we suffer in silence. That's gonna be my new book called Suffer in Silence. Please let me out. That's gonna be my new book. It's gonna be in the stores near you. Get that. You want to copy that because it's gonna help.
All right, we're gonna have people looking for that.
Look for it in 2024. So, you know what hey, you can see you're gonna make me start writing. You're gonna make me right. But I'm saying I'm serious. That's how men feel. They ain't gonna lie to you. Ask them. Just put your man aside right now. Don't look at him now because he put his head down. He's trying to get his life together. But ask him, am I lying?
So Monique says number 2 is not true. There are so many things that could come with not as much sex. That's where communicating comes in.
You know what? I'm sorry, I just got to get in right here. It's amazing how so much can come up about sex when we marry, but it don't seem to come up when we ain't married. Oh, hello. Is it on? This thing on?
Right.
Make me understand that. Tell me I'm wrong.
So Claudia says there's times you are really tired. Listen, that's understandable. Now, keep in mind, these are the reasons why men are rejecting marriage. This is why they're rejecting marriage. They feel like they can get more not being married than if they do. Because listen, there is a running joke with husbands that once you get married, all that stop. That's a running joke. But in every joke, there's a little truth.
See, this is a picture of dating and marriage. You know how you turn the faucet on and the water come all out of it? That's dating, right? Mm-hmm. You know how you turn the faucet off and every now and then you get that drip?
And that's when it's broke.
That's right.
Mika say, now go on with number 2. Get out of here. The lies. I think men don't understand how secure it makes a woman to be with one man. All right, Winston said, as soon as she's mad or you do something she doesn't like, the sex is off the table. Sex is used as a reward or punishment. Now, this is narcissistic behavior. Narcissists do this. I want you to catch this. Narcissists will set you up to where they can have you reacting based on punishment and rewards. And that's not a real relationship.
Did you say narcissistic or women statistic?
They need to start a new word.
Because listen, if you think sex not used as a reward, women have to admit to that. They have to admit to that.
And keep in mind, times have changed. Premarital sex is a lot more socially acceptable than it used to be. Now, back then, you wasn't supposed to be doing that if you wasn't married. So people was doing stuff in secret, but now they just doing whatever. And so it's like people say, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? A lot of guys getting the milk, so they like, why do I need to buy the cow? Lord says, whatever you did before you got married is our expectation when we get married.
But see, now hold on. Let me ask Lord this. Is that really the expectation though? Is that really? Because I think it may be early, but I think women beat that out of us after a little while of marriage. I think because if everything was like, if we expected everything to be like it was, we both got into it, we would be both holding each other to a high standard of marriage, wouldn't we? And we don't do that. We don't do that.
So Tramisha says, if you're sleeping with multiple women, you can't compare that amount of sex to when you're married and committed to one person. And like it was said earlier, communicate. We should be discussing sex drives before we ever say I do to understand compatibility. I'll let you go.
Let me tell you something. Don't you be getting up here telling me about what we should be doing. We know what we should be doing, but who doing that? Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. We jumping up in there and we getting it and we good and everybody's having a good time until the ring go on. Why we gotta have a conversation about sex drive after when we having sex already? You should know what mine is and I know what yours is. Now see, and if you happen to wait till you get married like you supposed to, what kind of conversation? So what type of sex drive do you have? Are you a 1 or 2 a day or you a 3 day? What are you? Because I'm generally like one good one and then I can roll over and go to sleep. Who having that conversation? Ain't nobody having that conversation.
They should be, but they not.
You too busy trying to figure out how much money I make, and then you'll put up with everything else that I do. So you go on with me here with that. We need to talk about sex drive. Girl, bye. All you want to talk about is money drive. Okay.
So what to say is communication is key. But if my husband says he wants it, then he gets it without any restraints.
Who is that?
That's what I want to know. Where I want to hear from your husband. That's lied. What I want to hear from.
She lied.
Put him in the comments, Shawanda. We want to hear from your husband. And don't you be sitting next to him when he's typing either. Deborah says, what it sounds like is today's women want a ring, dress, a ceremony, and nothing else. Once she gets what she can show off, the real her comes out.
And that's a really good point, because to be honest, I don't think women really, and I don't want this to sound insulting, but if it is, sometime it be that way. I don't think women really see past the wedding. They just think everything is going to work out after that. They think that I can do kind of what I feel and the marriage will work out. And it don't work that way. It does not work that way.
No. Teresa says sex should never be used for control, regardless, man or woman. You absolutely, it should not be used for control. It should be, I care enough about you to make sure you good.
You know
So you
what?
you look at him, you ask, you good? If he say no,
She gonna roll. So she just gonna roll back over then. If he ain't good, come on. Ling, 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 ling. Well, come on then. Come on. No. If you want to make sure, if you could put it in a box and push the box to my side of the bed and say, go ahead, you have at it. But no, we can't, because we can't do that, and you don't feel like it off the time. Because it's amazing. Before we get married, your emotions are high, you're glad, you're happy, you're smiling. Now after we take you off the market, now you want to be all emotional. Well, you got to start loving me or caressing me when I get up in the morning, and the way you talk to me, you got to give girl bye. When we was dating, all I had to do was wink at you. You was all over me. Now I gotta be in your mind and stimulate you. Now all this really, that's what we doing.
Stimulate your mind. Jeffrey says it's not about buying the cow when I can get it for free for me. It's about buying the cow when all the dudes who came before me that she claims not to have really liked the love got it for free. Oh, so Jeffrey said, I'm paying the bill while everybody else. Wow. So, oh wow, that's a whole new caveat to this whole thing, So it's clear. I think Jeffrey has had some things that happened to him.
So wait, so that's what I was wondering. So Jeffrey is is our weekly. He's with us. Jeffrey, we thank you.
Jeffrey is with us all the time. Yeah, Jeffrey is our boy. He's with us all the time.
Okay, but Jeffrey,
and he's passionate about stuff like this.
Hey, whoa, yes he is. So was Jeffrey the one that had been married before, and is?
Yeah, I think he had some things he went through. All right, okay. So Lois says, but you are talking about what we learned after we got married. When we was on our rabbit mindset pre-marriage, we were thinking, this is amazing. I can do this every night. I like my voice, huh? So Lord, are you saying we got baited in? It was the bait and switch? Is that what you're saying, Lord? Robert says Proverbs 18:22, the truth. Brother Squeeze. I guess somebody turn to 18 and 22 and drop that in and give them that for us. Somebody turn your Bibles to 18 and 22. No, I'm serious. I want somebody to put that on there. Let us know what 18:22 is. He didn't go into detail. I want to.
Well, if he gonna drop the scripture on it, he got to drop what it means on us too. We appreciate that. As much as I love the Bible, and he heard my cry, but I need you to, when you drop it on us, drop it all on us so we can talk about it. So we talk it all, get it all out there. Now, to Lord's point about we were jackrabbits trying to do it. So, and this is the thing, I get it. We all were in that mindset. So if that's the case, how is it that we don't seem to change from that and they do? Because we were together. We were jackrabbits together, just wasn't us by ourselves. They was with us. So what happens from the time we say, I do, to you saying, ooh, I don't really feel like it?
Hold on. Tramisha says, oh, Ninja, not I. Keep your little coins. Got my own.
See that? I'm gonna tell you something. But you ain't always had your coin. You ain't always had your coin. I'm sure there was a time when all you had was boot tang. So if you sit up here and get over here and me and act like that you've been well to do all, because you ain't. And when I say that, and I'm not talking just to you, I'm talking to the average person. Most of us have to build. When you young like that, you don't have nothing. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So Claudia says, if I'm tired, nothing is happening. All right, so let me Oh, she says, wake me up later. Let me get some sleep. Then my husband can get whatever he wants.
Listen, first of all, I don't want you sleepy. If you sleeping, go in there and get in the bed. You ain't nothing you can do for me. It with yawn in it when the one I open and girl, bye. Don't get out of there. But listen, and I think he understands that. See, and y'all don't give us enough credit. Y'all don't give men enough credit. We understand that you're tired, but we also understand when you just don't feel like it and you should. We also understand that y'all don't give us enough credit for that. Y'all think we just wanted one, but that's not the case. We consider all things before we go in there. And we also consider when you got a headache and the Tylenol laying over there, the Tylenol right there, and your head fine.
Let me get Kylie coming, then I got something to say to this. Kylie says, I think men going to marriage already feeling like if they do certain tasks clean. So I guess she had more to say. So I guess she's saying she's feeling like we feel like it's a reward thing anyway. We got to do more. Selena said 22. He who finds a wife, what is good and receives favor from the Lord. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. That's the one to talk about. All right. So he who finds a wife. So are women being wives today? I don't think the wife thing is just automatic like people think. I think wives have to be trained just like husbands do. I'm not saying trained by your wife. I mean, other men train men to be husbands and other women train women to be wives. I don't think that's happening. Kylie says the garage, then they want the sex reward. So she said, it's not us, it's them. It's not us, it's them. What do you mean? What do you mean? Listen, since we want to go to the Bible, let's take it to the Bible. The Bible says your body belongs to him. If he makes a request, thou shalt comply.
Hey,
why hast thou not complieth with the man?
Does thou bendeth over? Or does thou giveth attitude? Is what I want to know. Hello?
Oh man.
Hello?
Oh man. We still on number 2. Obviously, this is a big issue. Shawanda says, I'm married to an African man. They are old school, set their expectation early on. So I knew what I was getting into. Okay. So you already knew. Because I think the African culture, the patriarchy is still a huge thing in the African culture. Men, it's still traditional. Men run things. It's still traditional things. So she's saying she went into it with the expectation that he is the man. Okay, Jeffrey says, you're right. I've been through some stuff. But why should I keep quiet when I could keep a younger, more naive man from going through the same thing?
Well, Jeffrey, you can do that, Jeffrey. But you got to admit, though, in order to help somebody, you have to admit first that you were naive to some things, that you could have did some things better. Because a lot of times what we do, the person that tells the story is always the victim in it. You're either the victim or the hero. And you got to be careful that you make sure you tell both sides of the story, because that's the only way people can really can learn from what's going on as we drop all the cards on the table, not just the ones we hold. Hello?
Alice says work, kids, in-laws, lots can go on for women. And don't forget, romance starts before the bedroom. Men forget that. No, we don't.
Hold on. Did I not say something about that earlier? Don't be telling me about romance start before you get the girl. Listen, that man on that job can talk to you any kind of sideways and all this. And you yes a boss in the whole time. But now you want to put me to the standard of the world when you got this morning, you weren't talking to me right. So now girl, if you don't get in there and get that thing ready.
He said, "Get that thing ready."
No, it's just that's too much. That's too much. Why we have to put you in the mood? Are you doing the same with us?
You talk about the victim mentality. Why do women feel like they do everything? That's not true.
They don't want to tell them the story.
If women did everything, there would be no honeydew list.
Please don't.
All right, we still got.
Let's get to number 3.
We gotta go to number 3. All right. So, Kylie, I think my mic was muted before. She says work, kids, in-laws, lots can go on for women. And don't forget, romance starts before the bedroom. Men forget that.
Kylie,
not all men forget.
Not all men forget. Kylie. We're going to forget about that. We're going to forget about that, Kylie. We forgot about it, as a matter of fact. Get on out of here.
So Felicia says, a lot of people really are ignorant to what a covenant is when you get married. A true covenant is unbreakable and blood binding. When blood is mingled, it can't be separated. Nowadays, people give up in marriage for the least little things. You are absolutely right. People give up way too easy. But at the same time, if we're going to stay in this, we're going to have to work some things out.
Both of us.
You don't take the fact that somebody going to stick around as opportunity for you to get your way. That's abuse. Just because they won't leave or just because they won't say nothing, you keep acting in a manner that's going to frustrate them and keep them in a place because you know they can't go nowhere because they dedicated to the Lord. That is abuse, and you should stop it. Don't do that to men. Don't do that to a woman. Don't hold their loyalty to God against them and use it to your advantage. God gonna pay you back for that. Word to the wise. Jeffrey says, I share my stories because I don't want younger men just taking this raw deal we've been given for the last half century. We give women our last name, children, and our earnings. Why should we get less than the bare minimum in return? So Jeffrey said he just looking for some fairness.
Well, I don't want to say that women haven't been fair. I don't want to say they haven't been fair. But I can say, I think the women do this. I think the women think that they give up more at the beginning of the marriage. And so once we get into the marriage, it's our time to kind of catch up, basically. I think that man, because they have to be thinking that way, because that's how most marriages are. If most men would be honest, once you get in the marriage, it seems like we do a lot more compromising than the women do. We do a lot more selling. We do a lot more, okay, I'm gonna just be quiet. I'm gonna just suffer in silence. Most of the time, more than women do. Because when women start suffering in silence, they be talking about, I'm out. I'm finna bounce. And back to the comment before then. The reason why divorce is so prevalent today is because divorce is always on the table. If you keep divorce on the table and don't take it off, it's an option, and you have to remove the option. If you do not, somebody's gonna always say, "Well, hey, let's get divorced." If it's not there, when you get into the blood covenant, as you say, you got to know then that divorce is not an option. But too many times it is.
So Claudia says the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. So you saying the wife can say, you better not go pass that out to nobody else, but the husband can say, you better have it available to me anytime I need it. That's basically what you're saying?
What?
Shawanda says, this is the word. Yes, ma'am.
And I think go back to this. I think we don't really trust each other. I think we don't trust each other. I think we love each other, but we don't really trust that he gonna use my body and consider me while he in it or doing it. or trying to get none of that. No. I want that.
Yeah, it's not really coming together right now. So work it out.
I know, but seriously, I think we don't trust each other to be considerate enough of each other to say, when I want her, I'm going to ask for, or vice versa. We don't trust each other enough to know that we're going to do right by each other. And see, that's the problem.
You're absolutely right. Monique says, just like we're saying, not all men, not all women are withholding sex from the husband. But keep in mind, there is a reason why there's this stigma or this understanding that once a man gets married, he cut off. This is a running thing that people laugh and joke about, but it comes from a real place. So just keep in mind, this is not what go on in your house. If you got it on lock, cool. If he say, baby, I'm good, you cool.
He lying.
I say he lying. All right, so we still running the top 5. We're running 5 things. Jeffrey said these responses from the women is exactly why I don't go to church and don't trust church women. They can always find a scripture to support their bovine fecal matter. Oh, wow. And not accept accountability.
We need to go to 3. What's number 3? Please. Please. What's number 3?
I'm just glad we ain't having this conversation in the public forum because there might be a fight going on between Jeffrey and some women. So we'll keep that in mind. I get what he's saying though. It goes both ways. All right. So number 3. Number 3 says the single life is too good. The single life is too good. This is why another reason why men are they're rejecting marriage. The single life is too good.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I don't think single life is that good. I think women don't put the demand on men to marry. I think they don't put the demand on them. I think they floated out in the air that one day I want to be married. But for the most part, if you good, if everybody, too many times women compromise because they think they're gonna lose. They think they're gonna lose out on a good guy or something. They don't put up any standards like they're supposed to. Hey, listen, or we wait until we get older to do it and say, listen, I want to be married by 30, 40, or whatever it is. And now you put a standard on it, and he's so not used to you putting standards on him to where he don't even know what to do. This ain't been you. This ain't who we've been. We've been enjoying each other. Now why you want to stop it? Because there was no standard set at the beginning of it. When we first started Ooh Wee Baby, you should have stopped before he got there and said, whoa. Before you get it all the way there, hold on, let me tell you this. This is what I expect. And at that point, he's gonna tell you anything at that point. Okay. But we don't do that.
But here's to that point. Here's the thing though. That woman knows what she's not willing to do, although she's holding her standard, somebody else will. Now, the problem is if she doesn't have the walk away power, if she's stuck on that one dude, she in trouble. You got to have the power to walk away and say, just cut your losses.
But we don't have that power. If we be honest, we don't have the power to do that. Most of us don't have the power to do that. Because if we did, we'd be a lot better off and our hearts wouldn't be broken. Because let me tell you something. If you hanging in there for that guy, that girl, and in your heart, you know they're not going to marry you, you know type of dude is, he tell you, because people lie to you. They don't have to lie to you. They be themselves in front of you, and you be good with it. We compromise because we're not secure in who we are. People can say all they want to. But me, I'm the bye. Because your life is a result of decisions that you make. People, go ahead, Nick.
So Teresa says, so it's the woman's responsibility to make the man marry her?
No, but the conversation at least needs to be had when I step to you and say, hey, listen, it's cool. You know, the date thing is cool, but I'm really trying to be Miss whoever, Miss Rice, Miss Day, Miss something. But you got to put that out there. You got to put that out there early. Hey, I'm trying to be somebody's wife. Now, I'm all for dating and getting to know who you are because I think that's the most important thing. But I want to be somebody's wife. And if you don't put that, you got to put it out there. Because listen, even if we looking for a wife, If you want to play, I'll play with you, and then I go back to looking for me a wife. Even if I'm looking for one, if you're willing to bring the standards down for me, I do. For me to be with you, I do that. But I'm not gonna stay with you. I'm gonna go find a wife. I'm gonna go find somebody that's got some stuff, and that's just the truth, y'all.
That's what happened.
I would not lie to you.
So Mika says, "Wait, we have to demand marriage. It's not that you demand marriage; it's that you demand better from him."
And listen,
you demand better from him.
And listen, yes, you gotta demand marriage, because if you don't, nobody's not gonna marry you. You gotta let people know what you stand for, what you want, and you gotta be ironclad in what you want. Because if you don't have the standards, I'm not gonna set no boundaries and standards for you. You gotta do that, but you gotta have some.
Selena says, surprisingly, I agree with John. Your expectation in a relationship has to be communicated up front. And a lot of times, I mean, this is how you weed out the ones who ain't about nothing. Because a real man gonna step up and do what he's supposed to do.
My friend of mine calls, and again, everybody want to do Man Talk Monday on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But
right.
So she says to me, she say, I was finna start dating this guy, and I told him that I wanted to be a wife because he was all over me. And said, well, no, sweetie, I'm not having no sex until I get married. And she said she hadn't heard from him no more. Well, you ain't supposed to hear from him no more.
Right.
Because he didn't want nothing but the sex. You let him make it. Regardless, you let him take his money and what all he got, let him step. But the problem is, and if you don't want to wait around, or he or she don't want to wait around to find out what type of person that you really are, because you're worth a lot more than the sex. You worth whoever you are, you worth a whole lot more than sex. And people got to hang around long enough so they can see that. That's why you need to hold on to your pants. You got to pull them up high. Hold on to them.
Right.
So you get a chance to see the type of person you are. That's real talk, man. That's real talk. Because you are wonderful and amazing. And you more than just booty.
You got to see yourself as more.
see that? And you can't see.
Listen. If you competing, you're gonna get caught up in it. Don't compete. Don't compete with other women. Know who you are. Stand for what you stand for. All right. So number 4, Mika say I agree. Number 4. Potentially abusive wives. Now, I'm gonna tell you what they're talking about with this. Okay. Potentially abusive wives. Men always have the rap of being abusive. Most shelters for abused people are for women. So there's too much of a negative stigma around men who get abused. They don't feel like they'll be taken serious. They don't feel like they have any recourse of action. If they do something physically to her, then everybody gonna look at them like you the abuser and the whole nine. And if they report it, then people look at them as they weak and the whole nine. So rather than potentially dealing with an abusive woman, they like, I just don't want to deal with marriage to begin with.
Well, and a lot of times, I think people don't really know what's abusive. People, man, that's just how I am. I mean, that's just how I am. This how I've always been. Oh, I didn't know that offended you. Oh, I didn't know that made you feel like that. But and the thing about it, man, and and people say this all the time, but I used to just think that it was just people talking. But man, you really got to communicate with each other. You really got to be talking, because let me tell you something. Abuse is not anything you can hide. If you are abusive, you're going to be abusive when we dating. Whether that's the way you talking to me, whether that's the way you handling me, whatever it is, you cannot hide that. You cannot hide. It's the snaps, it's the something, but it's going to be signs to show you that, hey, this might be a little bit more abusive than what I want to handle. Especially if the woman, because the crazy women, they the best in bed. Seem like. You be like, oh my God, I think I'm going to lose my mind. And then she get up and she done paint the whole house and done cut your clothes. Dude, you better get out of there. You better get out of there.
Monique said, I agree. You have to be careful.
Damn, man.
And let me just say, anytime a woman will challenge a man physically, the man is put in a very bad position because he knows if he shows you that he's a man, everybody gonna come down on him. And nobody's gonna point the finger back at you and say, well, why did you challenge him like that? Nobody's gonna say that. And say, when you use the person's standards of what they won't do, when you use it against them like that, that is serious abuse. Jeffrey says, then y'all get together and back each other up. So again, no accountability. Why don't y'all take the same accountability y'all asked for?
Well, you know, we got to be careful with the accountability thing, Jeffrey. We got to be careful, man, because I think oftentimes people drag their past relationships and what has been done to them into their future. They drag their past from their future. Now, I'm not saying Jeffrey, but that's what you do. But I'm saying this: people are human. People that have been hurt tend to hurt people before we're completely healed, because we don't want to be by ourselves. I just don't. I think the best way to get over a guy is get with another guy. I think the best way to get over another woman is to give another. I know we have to heal first, and hurting people normally hurt people.
Yeah, and everybody need to keep their hands to themselves. Don't nobody need to be hitting them.
Don't be playing fighting. Don't be playing, because if you hit me too hard, I'm gonna grab my pistol and it's gonna be ugly.
Don't spit on nobody. Don't please don't spit on.
Hold on, wait, whoa. You can't really say that. You can't use spit because you know that's something they be doing now. But anyway, go ahead.
I need a commercial break. You messed me up.
They different from we were, D. They different from us. Go ahead.
Just be careful challenging against manhood. Be careful.
Well, and you always gotta remember, for a man or a woman, you have a child. If you have a child, you just gotta remember that's somebody's child that you doing that to. Somebody's child. And we don't nobody want that to be done to our child. So don't do it to nobody else's.
Okay, so Tramisha says, I would never support a female friend in being abusive. Jeffrey, who are these folks you know? So Jeffrey, they want to know what circle you running in. Jeffrey, who is y'all? So the women don't agree that they support foolishness. Well, I will say there are women who support foolishness.
But it's guys too, D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why each side got to hold each other accountable. Women got to hold women accountable. Men got to hold men accountable. If a man is abusing his wife and just doing all kinds of stuff with his wife, other men need to step to him and say, bro, what you doing? Yeah, even to the point we got to dust him up.
If she keep coming up and she got an elbow that's hurt, a knee she limping, and I fell on this chair, I did this, and I'm gonna tell you something. That's not the abuse that's really noticeable. The abuse that's really noticeable is the abuse that when y'all in front of everybody and he snaps on it, says something to her in front of everybody else. There are always signs. We got to be looking for the signs and not just the guy. Yeah.
And it does no good for men to take up for you and be like, you defend him. That's a whole nother thing. Mika says, can't support abuse. You get you some friends that don't. We all need better friends.
Yeah, oh, yes, absolutely. I think it's just as important to us as when we're older as it is when we're younger, man. Because everybody need good friends, man. Everybody need good friends. All right, what's 5, Dick? What we got? What's 5?
Number 5, and this is a serious one.
Okay.
Number 5 is, horror stories about men losing everything in divorces.
Ain't nothing funny about that, brother. Ain't nothing funny about that. Well, but and see this one we might have to have a part 2 about this one. because I listen. If everybody is in a relationship for the right reasons and you doing dirt, there should be a cause for you doing dirt if she decides to leave and you get caught doing dirt. There should be a penalty for that.
Yeah.
There should, and the same goes for the woman. You know, that's the crazy thing. Like about that, that's the crazy thing when we talk about like prenups or something, man. Listen. I don't even know whether I'm for or against prenups, but I know if y'all loving each other like y'all supposed to, I know that everybody gonna be taken care of. You know what I'm saying, dude?
So here's the statistic, and Jeffrey kind of touched on it before. We all know 50% of all marriages end in divorce, but 80% of divorces are filed by women. And then in cases where there's kids involved, only 10% of the time do the husband gets custody of the kids.
80% though?
80% of divorces are filed by women. And here's the thing. Courts still favor women in divorces.
Yes, they do.
They still favor women. See, women have convinced themselves that they have no power. And y'all had all this power to begin with. Because if you could cry and get the whole world to react to you, you got power.
80% though is a lot of I can't take it no more. That's a whole lot of I can't take it no more. 80%? That's
80%. All right. So Percy says, I believe everything the both of you said about the abuse. I just took it and it started before I got married. Oh, wow. But I stayed because I loved her and figured if I made her a married woman and do right, it would go away. But I realized her past, she thinks she got over it or past it. She hasn't. There's no need to fight me. I'm not the one messing around on you, but I feel that she withholds sex from me and she doesn't let me be the man in our home. If I find a problem, she feels as if I'm just trying to, and I'm pretty sure there's more to that. Wow. We're waiting on the rest of it, but wow. And listen,
there's a lot.
We have to start taking men serious about the things that we say we go through. It can't just be joking, oh, man up, oh, suck it up. Now, if he man up, and next thing you know, he up in your face, you gotta be careful. If a man says that he has a problem, take him serious, because we don't often do it. So if he says enough, if he's man enough to speak up about it, take him serious. Don't just brush it off and say you oughta or you should and all that type of stuff.
But you gotta lead, D. No, if she's abusive, if they are abusive, whoever is abusive, you got to get out of that because somebody gonna get hurt. Ain't no chance. I ain't gonna do it no more. No. If they putting hands in, because you know the thing about that, how can you love me if you're doing something to hurt me? How can you love me? Well, right. You know, you made me do it. Well, I might have, but you ain't have to. It was a shot to the ribs that really did it for me, though. I thought dude, it's fun. I'm trying to make light of it because I don't want to get. But dude, you can't love me if you're abusing me. You can't. If you don't want the best for me like I do you can't abuse me. You at least should be trying because you should be trying to get better and you're not.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Sneezing monster got it. But we gotta do better about marriages. I mean, married people, we gotta send a better message to people about marriage. Because a lot of things, the problem is people don't do enough on the front end. There's a lot of people who get married who should not be married. Should not. And then they represent marriages to everybody else. These are not the people that should be representing marriage. Don't listen to nobody who, you know what I'm saying, ain't been in the time enough to really see what it is. Stop taking y'all advice. Stop taking y'all advice from these 20-some-year-olds that's been married a hot second. Now they got podcasts. Now they got Clubhouse Room and all this stuff. And you ain't been married long enough to know what you can afford to go through. You ain't been through nothing yet. Now I can get with you if you are saying something that more mature people have said to you, but you give them credit for that advice. But listen, this thing it's work.
Yeah, man. It. People don't know the half, D. People don't know the half. People don't know the half. Don't know the half.
There we go. Final thought.
Final thoughts is this. Now we just talking a little bit about some of the things that keep men from marriage. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. If y'all don't want to be treated like no man, y'all better stop looking like them. Let me tell you something. Just because you look like a man and you got a part in your head, don't mean I won't put these things on you. I'm just saying, we can't have it both ways. We cannot have it both ways. Y'all got to figure out whether y'all going to be women and feminine or whether y'all going to be fighters. Because at some point, the table's going to turn where you can't do it no more. Where they're going to start hitting you back like a man. You better remember, you're a woman. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what kind of college cut you got. I don't care how saggy your jeans are. You better remember, you're a woman. And that's my final thought, because I'll knock you out. Girl, I'll take you out. Y'all be good. Yeah.
Well, it's obvious that we have a lot of work to do in terms of marriage and relationships. And it seems like things are getting worse. The statistics show just how bad things are and how the effects of broken marriages, fatherless homes, and all these things are. But there is still not work. You still don't see signs of us doing the work to make it better. It's all about responsibility. Single, married, we all have the responsibility of holding a standard in society where people consider what they're getting themselves into. Marriage has a purpose. It is necessary. It is absolutely needed. But if it's not done right, it has ramifications that the fallout can be felt generations to come. If we're going to have healthy society, healthy children, generationally, we got to get this marriage thing right. And that means men have to hold men accountable. Women have to hold women accountable. If a brother ain't acting right, tell him. If a sister ain't acting right, let her know. Because really, she messing up your chances if you're not married yet. So let's just fix this thing together. And that's our King Speak for this week. Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Great show, man. Great show, bro. Woo. Great show, man.
Mika says John chose violence again. Listen, don't forget, we here every Monday. Thank you for everybody that stopped by to listen in, be a part of the conversation. Don't forget you can catch us, our podcast. We upload an episode every week. Apple, Google, Spotify, and a host of others. You can go and find us. Like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about what we're doing. If you like this, tell people. And make sure if you're on YouTube, click that bell so you get alert whenever we go live. But we here every Monday, 7. Been doing this over a year. We still rocking. Right?
I had an afro when we first started.
So we appreciate everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you all next week. Peace out.
You gotta be blessed.